Welcome back, Feel Good fam, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you for spending your Thursday morning with us. Right now, we have to get into some goodness in anticipation of Nelson Mandela Day tomorrow. The Do More Foundation is preparing for Mandela Day with a renewed focus on climate resilience as well as early childhood development. Now, talking to us and joining us in this couch is the beautiful Nicole Bayondi. Now, she's a renowned keynote speaker, program director, as well as advocate for systems change, whose work at the intersection of social imagination and storytelling has helped reframe how we think about care, but also equity and, most importantly, the future. So please help me in giving her a feel-good welcome. Yes! And that is how you should be greeted everywhere you go.
Yes.
Nicole,
Wow.
please hire me. I'll be there. I'll be your hype woman everywhere.
Done.
Okay,
Thank you.
done. Thank you. Contract signed. Because I'm backing what you do. I absolutely love the work that you're getting into. It's important for literally everybody. So talk to me more about the Do More Foundation. What excites you most about being part of this foundation?
Well, so many things excite me about being part of the foundation.
Yeah.
The primary thing is that the foundation supports young children all over South Africa to thrive. So young children in underprivileged circumstances to have everything they need to thrive.
Yeah.
And in particular, this Mandela Day, what excites me about the work that they're doing is it's not just a one-day feel-good activity, which is great, don't get me wrong, but this is really an opportunity to transform ECD centres across South Africa to become climate resilient. You know, just earlier on we were speaking about the floods. So it's making sure that centres can be protected from things like floods, heat waves, droughts, etc. So children can continue to learn and grow and play no matter what the weather.
Oh, I love that you said play as well, because we want that to be at the forefront of children's minds, not the fact that, oh my gosh, life is scary and all the other responsibilities that we pick up on, but it is important to instill these values from an early stage too. So why do you believe it is important for you to touch base from this young until they get a little bit older?
Well, you mentioned play, so let me focus on play. So the way that children learn, young children learn, is through play. In fact, the way we learn is through play, but that's a different conversation. So when young children are playing, they are learning to explore the world, they're learning to connect, and they're building the foundations for everything that comes later. So they're building foundations for things like creativity and critical thinking.
Yeah.
And so when we embed environmental education through play, yes, we're teaching them about nature, but we're also helping them to form a lifelong connection with the planet that we live on and helping them to become caring, creative human beings who are going to care for the planet and ultimately thrive as they grow older.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we want at the end of the day when forming a little human being.
Exactly.
Make sure that you're aware of the life and impact that you're making around you with every decision that you make.
Yeah.
So I would agree it's 100% important. But how do you ensure complex issues like this do reach a wider audience? Like, you are a keynote speaker. So I think it's important to use the platform for good. And do you find the impact of that really does resonate with individuals?
Yes, absolutely. And I've found that the best way of translating complex issues, things like climate change, climate resilience, is to not actually use that language.
Yes.
Is to shy away from jargon.
Right.
And also to use stories and storytelling. I mean, ultimately, we want people to form a personal connection to the topic at hand. And I found that the best way of doing that is to tell a story that people can relate to, that touches an emotion, and that also people can find themselves within. But my biggest thing, and I always say this, and I'm actually going to challenge you for the rest of this interview.
Okay, tell me.
We're not going to do jargon. Are you ready?
I don't think I'm ready. I don't know that I am ready, because I do want to talk about the fact that, culturally speaking, I don't know that when we grow up, I feel like we are as humans connected to the earth, but culturally speaking, I think there's a disconnect as well. So it's really important that you do step forward and represent something that isn't seen quite often, right? Whether it be on a stage or even in places like the G20 Education Group. I mean, how do you find when you step into a room, you are received? Do people immediately go, okay, I've got my defenses up, or do they go, I'm open to hearing what you have to say?
It depends. So one of the biggest things that I've learned about stepping into a room, whether I'm facilitating or emceeing, is actually it's what happens before I step into the room. And so it's the information that people receive that helps prepare them before they step into the room, exactly. And then, of course, it's about, in the room, creating a container for connection.
Yes,
Very
I love
importantly,
that.
creating a space where people can connect first to themselves, then to the topic, and then to each other. And one of the things I found critical is allowing for the wisdom in the room to surface, having the humility to know I absolutely do not know everything. And the people in the room all hold a piece of wisdom, whether they know it or not. And so it's my job to bring that wisdom out.
I love that. And that's exactly why they pay you the big bucks, because you are fantastic at what you do. Yeah, pay her that big buck. She deserves it. When it comes to businesses in South Africa and supporting the work that you do and Do More Foundation does, what exactly can they do? How can they invest? How can they assist?
Yeah, so this Mandela Day, the Do More Foundation has made it really easy for businesses of any size to get involved. We've put together a menu of 12 different infrastructure products, for lack of a better way of describing it, that will support early childhood development centres to become climate resilient. And so this ranges from everything from a full upgrade for an ECD centre for 20,000 Rand, all the way to sponsoring a climate play pack for children to connect them through play to the environment at 67 Rand, and a whole bunch of things in between. So there's absolutely no excuse for businesses not to get involved this Mandela Day.
We've made it too
easy, too easy.
And I'm curious about, I mean, we mentioned play and creativity a little bit earlier, and I've been told that you're a performance poet. So I wonder how that kind of brings it all together, because maybe climate change and chats about climate resilience can get serious, but then the creativity of it all, how do you marry those two together?
Sure, for a second, I thought you were going to ask me to do a poem.
Yeah, recite a poem while you're at it.
I'm not ready. No, so I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned as a poet is to pay attention to the things that aren't said. And to really find opportunities to connect people through words, and I mean, I spoke about it earlier, through language that people will understand. So not try and be all fancy about things, but really use emotive language so that people connect with the issue at heart and that they feel inspired to do something, to, in this case, to do more.
Yeah, speaking about doing more, I mean, today, if we can put anything into action, what can we do to make sure the near future and far future is taken care of as a regular citizen, as somebody in South Africa right now?
So if I had a magic wand, which of course I do in my pocket, I would encourage everyone to think about young children and families and their flourishing within the context of this changing environment. So often we think about things as separate issues, but if we place young children and families at the heart of our climate action, in whatever we do, we are setting ourselves up, and the children of today, we're setting them up for a really beautiful, safe, clean, happy future.
That's beautiful. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. This has been wonderful. And all the best going forward. Tomorrow is going to be stunning. I already know that. Do More Foundation is where it's at. But stay tuned right here, Expresso fam, because we'll be back with more Feel Good right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.